Hello, clay volunteers. I'm just here to show you a quick video of the clay process from start to finish. So we are showing you our Kinder clay pumpkin project to demo this for you today. So step one is planning a molding day, okay? And so you get a big chunk of clay and you want to try to keep this closed for the most part so the clay doesn't dry out. And you just pull a nice big chunk of clay out of your bag and you give each kid a good size ball of clay like this, and you just tell them you roll it into a sphere, and we roll it around, and they can roll it on their clay mat, and you get this really nice sphere, and then you tell them to plop it on the ground or plop it on their mat. And the next step is you can tell them this is going to be the bottom of your pumpkin, okay? And then you ask them to take their thumb and they're going to push a cave into their pumpkin. So we just hollow out the inside of this pumpkin. Okay? And hollowing it out just helps it dry a little bit faster if you're kind of hoping to get these in the kiln sooner. Making them a little bit hollowed out helps them dry faster. We did make this pumpkin here completely solid, which worked too, but it's up to you depending upon how much time you have to dry before putting them in the kiln. So the next thing you're going to tell them to do is go ahead and pinch the top, and they're going to make a stem. And they pinch all the way around. And this is looking pretty good. And then the last step is they're just going to go ahead and take a pencil and do eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And the kids actually get pretty creative with this, and we pretty much just let them do their thing. So that is a fully molded clay pumpkin. So now we let this sit in the classroom and dry for approximately 2 weeks. When it's dry, it's going to look light gray, and it's ready to go in the kiln. So we put it in the kiln, we bisque fire it in the kiln, and when it comes out, it's very white like this, and it's super, super hard, and it's ready to go. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys, on the bottom of each pumpkin, you want to go ahead and write the kids, you just, with a toothpick, you just etch in their name, their classroom number, and the year. That's just so we can keep track of everybody's pumpkins, because if you have any name duplicates, you just want to make sure that if you have 2 Emmas or 3 Emmas in the kindergarten grade level, that we are not mixing up everybody's pumpkins. So the room number on the bottom helps too. So after they are kiln or bisque fired in the kiln for approximately 2 days, they come out and they are ready to paint. So you schedule a painting day with your class. You have a molding day and a painting day with the class. So for painting day, we go ahead and we get these wonderful little colored paint jars that have all of our colored paints, and we, very self-explanatory, just paint these pumpkins. Okay, and we do, I actually like to start with the kids, letting them do the yellows of the eyes and the nose, and we just fill those little holes in with yellow, just like that. And then we let them paint the whole outside orange. A really important part of this step is we don't want them picking up and painting, because then they get a whole bunch of paint on the bottom. Ideally, this whole bottom part should be paint free. So don't let them pick it up, because if they paint around like that, that's a good way to make sure that they don't get paint on the bottom. So what happens if there's any paint or glaze that gets on the bottom of the piece, when we put it in the kiln for the next step, it actually glues to the bottom of the kiln, and it's really hard to get out. So if you could just try to, when you're painting and glazing, make sure that we don't get any on the bottom. So after your pumpkin is painted, you let it dry for like 10-15 minutes, and then it's ready to glaze. So glazing, we have this liquid gloss glaze. It comes in this giant jug and it's pink. And you just put it in one of these dishes and you glaze away. And you cover the whole piece, again, trying to be careful to not get any on the bottom. It's pretty much just like doing your nails. You've got one coat of color or 2 coats of color, and then the top coat that after we glaze fire it turns nice and clear. So after you fully glaze the piece, you let it dry for another 20 minutes or so, and it is ready to put back in the kiln to glaze fire for another day or so. So I hope this video shows you all of the steps of the clay process we are doing here. And as you can see at the end, we have an adorable clay pumpkin. Thank you guys so much.